everyone. Welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long, along with the coach, Angelo Reyes. And, Coach, we got a very special guest in the studio. The next champion of the world, minute-weight champion of the world.
Absolutely. And thanks for coming, because he's normally in Miami, but he made a special stop here before he had to go back. Luis Cuba Arias, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. No, thanks for having me, man. This is going to be a nice show.
Yeah, no, so, well, we're in an MMA boxing show, right? And now let's talk about your last fight. You won it easy money, as you would say. It was easy. Talk to us about that and how that kind of propelled you going forward now with your two regional 160-pound belts. And I believe you're going to be like in the top 7 pretty soon here?
Hopefully. That's the plan. So I have won 2 regional belts in August. One for the IBF, one for the WBC. So this fight was just my first defense. We tried to make a defense on a bigger stage before, but you know, the Miguel Cotto card didn't happen. So this was kind of like a backup. I had to take the fight wherever it was, no matter who. So that's kind of what it was. You know, fought a tough guy, but he was, you know, just a club fighter. So I did what I had to do. You know, like I dominated him. I got the rounds in. So now it's time for the big stage.
Man, I got to tell you, because when you watch this guy fight, and he's the real deal. This guy sparred Floyd. Right, he's even sparred Showtime Pettis. Right. I mean, this guy is the real deal, and the only thing I'm hoping for you is your management doing anything to finally get you back in Vegas so we can do a fight here, a big one?
Yeah. Actually, we are. I was actually supposed to have a big fight here in November when the Kovalev Ward fight originally happened the first time. You know, but the business is a little, you know, tricky. You know, and we couldn't get the fight done. But, you know, we're getting our second chance come June, you know, and as far as I'm concerned, I will be making my HBO debut in June. Once again, we just got to get the paperwork correct, but I think June 17th will be the day that I'm shown to the world.
Wow, that would be awesome.
June 17th.
The only thing I can think of is if it's June 17th, that's the undercard of Kovalev Ward 2. Whoa! Man. Get that paper right, though, right? You want the paper right.
That's what it is, you know, you want to make sure everything's correct. You know, once it gets to the big stage, the contract isn't just one paper. You know, it's a little bit longer. So you want to get your wording right. You want to get the money right. So, but at the end of the day, this time the stage is too big for us to turn down. So we're taking the fight no matter what.
Wow.
Now, can you describe to us what that would feel like to finally move up to that next level, be in front of a crowd that big, because you know it's going to sell out, of course, and everything, and then walk in there and know that you're on your way to that next step?
Well, I've been working hard for it. You know, I've been on big pay-per-view undercards before, but on the lower part. You know, I didn't fought on cards where I'm the only guy in the stadium. It's a 15-seat arena, and it's only 10 people there. But now that I'm growing and I'm seeing the public get bigger and, you know, my stock rise, like it's starting to feel better, starting to feel like, all right, I'm working for the big lights. You know, this all you want to do is come to Vegas, make it to Vegas for a big fight. So, like I said, I'm ready, and this is something I've been working for my entire life. So, it's only the beginning. I'll be fighting in Vegas for about 10 more years, hopefully.
Wow. Well, now, can I ask you, what was it like for you when you were sparring Floyd? And, of course, the obvious next question is going to be, because you even sparred Showtime Pettis, so you kind of have an idea of sparring a legit 155-pound champion like Conor McGregor, you know, right? And then you sparred Floyd. So in all honesty, you know, in your opinion, Cuba, what do you think? I mean, do you think that fight would even happen because there's so much money involved?
I think the fight has to happen because there's too much money involved. You know what I mean? I think it's just a money run. It's a money grab. Both guys can make a lot of money. I mean, Floyd's already made this type of money, but McGregor's the only fight where he could come and get that money again. From a fighter's perspective, he doesn't stand a chance at all. You know, like I was telling you before, I mean, this is a guy 49-0 fighting somebody who's making their professional debut. I mean, McGregor does have the power, you know what I mean, but he's knocking guys out with those 4-ounce gloves. You know, once you're hitting guys with those 8- and 10-ounce gloves, it's different. There's a lot more padding. You could deflect a lot of the shots. You know, it's not going to feel the same punching somebody with the big gloves it is with them small gloves. You know, like I sparred Pettis, you know, and had Pettis hit me with some of those shots that were 4 ounces, I might have wobbled. He might have been able to clip me. It would have been a different story, you know. But he was able to hit me shots with 14, 16-ounce gloves where I could be like, well, if the gloves were a little different, the results are different. You know what I mean? So, 4 ounces, McGregor could probably clip Floyd if he catches him. 10, 8 ounces, I don't see it happening.
Not at all. Not even.
Now, what about Pettis? I mean, you sparred with him and everything. How do you think he would do with
I mean, I think he would do pretty good if he decided to be like, you know what, I had my run in the UFC, I had my run in the MMA, like, let me just try this boxing out. I think he'd be all right. You know, could he fight for a world title? I mean, it would be far-fetched right now. But could he beat a lot of opponents that guys, you know, that they put in there with 10 losses, guys who only come in to give you tough fights? I feel like he could beat a lot of those guys. You know, once he gets to that world, that top 10 level, I mean, we'd have to see. But he definitely has a good boxing, good background. You know, there's a lot of other UFC fighters who have good boxing backgrounds who are doing really good. You know, like. Cody was what?
What's your opinion? Do you think MMA, the boxing in MMA, is catching up with boxing?
I just feel like if I was a UFC fighter, I would practice a lot more on my boxing.
Okay.
When the fight starts, you got to start standing up.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, once they grab you, then you start learning the takedown defenses and all the other defenses. But the fight starts standing up. If for whatever reason I can keep you standing up in the center of the cage for X amount of time, it's only a matter of time till I catch you with the 4 ounces. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are doing their boxing. I think they should.
Well, I was going to ask you, looking at the 160-pound division, and I know you're not the type of fighter to call anybody out, because you'll fight anybody, literally. But anyone coming, you know, like in your head, like 160, I think I can have my style, can have a pretty good fight against that person.
Well, Golovkin, Triple G and Canelo are my two. If I could fight both of those guys before it's all said and done, you know, I'll be happy with my career. I can beat both of those guys. You know, styles make fights. I'm a big middleweight. You know, Triple G's, you know, on his way out. But like I said, I'm already ranked in the top 15 right now. This next fight, I was told after we get this guy out the way, we'll be ranked in the top 10. So both of those fights they're bound to happen. And if they don't happen, it's because just of the business, the nature of the business. But I would like to fight both of those guys.
Man, that's awesome, right?
I like it, man. Wow. I like it. Let's make it happen. Well, Luis, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule, stopping by our little show.
Yeah.
We're talking to future world champs.
We are. Have a safe trip back to Miami, and we can't wait to hopefully we see you back here in Vegas June 17th.
Bring your belts in. We'll have the hardware right here on the table, right? Awesome. Well, stay with us after the break. We're going to have a little bit more, right? We're going to do a segment that we love. Who would you bet on? Stay right here.